Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Hunter Davis. Experts say the 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit the area of Ridgecrest last night. A spokesperson for the district says those students were able to return back to the building at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We're told the day continued as normal. A 7-hour standoff in Georgetown ends with loud pops and a man in custody.
And I want to show you guys the tree that caused all of this damage. I'm going to walk you guys this way. The wind picking up, so it's no surprise that a tree like this was knocked down in this type of storm.
The clinic instructor put glow germ gel on their hands, and then the lights went off, the black light came on, and the germs came out. A 7-year-old is dead, and her family has been fighting for answers since the December shooting. It once was a place of worship, and from the front, it still resembles that place. But once you walk around back, you can see the memories once held in this church, now in shambles. Other things I love is when you find out, oh my gosh, like it's National Pizza Day, and then you get to eat pizza that day, right?
So I'm wondering what today is.
National Cabbage Day.
Mayor Blancett says after having to practically start from scratch, they are thriving. Live on I-35, Hunter Davis, Central Texas News Now. I'm in Henry, where the Vermilion Sheriff's Department is taking a look at what was left behind after Barry made its way through. Take a look here, what's normally farmland completely underwater. The Sheriff's Department says they use this amphibious vehicle not only for water rescues, but to survey the damage. The Vermilion Sheriff's Department has been driving around the parish all day, making sure people aren't trapped and also trying to give people a guess for when they may be able to return home. James Gleason, who's with the high water rescue team, says fortunately they've only had to make one rescue since Barry made landfall. Since then, they've been surveying the area to give people a better idea of what's happening.
It's not always all about, going out and doing rescue missions. It's about all the other things that the scouting missions for water levels on the roadway. They're going out and checking utility stations and pumps and generators and all that stuff that would be inaccessible otherwise if you didn't have vehicles like this.
The department is using several resources, including the amphibious machine we rode on today. This vehicle can not only drive on roadways, but it can also float in high water. The Sheriff's Department says they will continue to survey the damage until all roadways in the parish are passable. And Henry, Hunter Davis, KXXV-TV 3.
Yeah, and on that list was the name of a priest who previously worked in Dallas and now faces criminal charges after being accused of sexual abuse. 70-year-old Edmundo Paredes fled the country when a warrant for his arrest was issued back in January. He's the only priest named in today's search warrant who currently faces a criminal charge in the abuse allegations after he was accused of sexually abusing a male victim for years. Officials say the investigation into Mr. Paredes led to at least 5 additional allegations of child abuse against other suspects.
In furtherance of these investigations today, we obtained and executed multiple search warrants to collect any data or documentation of previous reports or records of abuse that may be held by the Dallas Catholic Diocese.
According to the 40-plus page search warrant issued today, the investigation into sexual abuse accusations of the Catholic Diocese of Dallas has been repeatedly stonewalled by church officials, which is why searches were conducted this morning at the Diocese of Dallas headquarters, St. Cecilia Catholic Church, and a storage facility. Coming up tonight at 6, we have reaction from the Bishop of Dallas, who says that this is just an opportunity for the Diocese of Dallas to prove that they're doing what's right. Live in Killeen, Hunter Davis, Central Texas News Now. Arlene Benavidez has been in the United States Army for 8 years and was stationed at Fort Hood back in December. She and her spouse Jessica looked at over 20 homes to find their dream home in Central Texas. But 7 months later and thousands of dollars later, that dream home is in shambles.
It had carpet, probably the original carpet, old tile.
Which is why Jessica and Arlene Benavidez bought their home less than a year ago with the condition that they would receive a $4,000 flooring allowance to make the changes they wanted.
And that was mid-February to towards the end of February when we actually started with the stained concrete, when we had hired the contractor to come do our flooring for us.
It was a dream the couple started with his and hers renovations, but that dream didn't take long to become a nightmare.
When we finally came to the house, the day that it was done, the floor was still wet from the sealer that they had put on it, so we couldn't come in the house. And he promised, hey, you'll love it, I swear, it looks great. Obviously he hadn't been here for it because he didn't know what it looked like. When we were able to walk in the house, we said, we're not moving anything in the house because this isn't what we paid for.
The Benavidezes say not only were their floors dirty and the wrong color, they weren't even level anymore.
The overlay actually changed the level from like the hallway into the kitchen and, you know, into the bathroom. It was like a slope up. And then on top of that, they didn't smooth it. They left it textured.
So they immediately contacted the contractor.
Said that he couldn't be proud of it. And so he completely understood why we felt the way we did. You know, apologized over and over, said he was sorry, let him make it right, that he wanted to fix it because this is not who he was. This is not the kind of business that he ran.
And the Benavidezes say with no more money to put into a new floor, they had to trust in this same contractor to try again, this time with tile. But the nightmare continued, in addition to uneven tiles.
I had a tape measure on it and it was about an inch gap.
There are gaps between the wall and flooring throughout the entire house, missing tiles and destroyed baseboards.
In the foyer, I mean, you can see all of the baseboards are covered with stain and grout. There's stain on the walls.
All things the company said they would fix, but the contractor never came back.
The guest bathroom, it's still not finished. There's still tons of areas in the house that don't have grout.
And because the Benavidezes have had no luck getting a hold of the owner of his and hers renovations again, Central Texas News Now also made several attempts, and while we were able to speak to the owner. Is there a time that you can meet with us to do an on-camera interview to tell us your side of things? He hasn't returned our calls in 6 days, and now the couple says they're running out of options.
We have filed with the Better Business Bureau. We have filed with the Consumer Protection with the Attorney General in Texas. We have also filed a small claims court to go to small claims court with Bell County.
The Benavidezes say at this point they've still not heard from the owner of his and hers renovations. They say they'll be looking for an attorney to move forward with in addition to the legal steps they've already taken. We also reached out to the Bell County's constable office, who did confirm there is a pending lawsuit. They say that their deputies have been looking to serve a civil citation for the past month. They say they've attempted to do so 8 times at the address provided on the company's business card. That address is here in Troy, Texas. Central Texas News Now went to that address, and even we were unable to locate the business. Reporting in Troy, Hunter Davis, Central Texas News Now. Today marks 50 years since Apollo 11 made history by being the first manned spacecraft to land on the moon. Good morning, I'm Hunter Davis. We'll have extended coverage of the historic day coming up a little later in our show. For now, though, meteorologist Felicia Woody is with me, and hot.
Yeah, we need to look up the thesaurus right now and be like, what are some other ways?
Some synonyms for you guys. New from overnight, a Waco man recovers this morning after being hit by a pickup truck. The accident happened just after 9 last night at the corner of East Waco Drive and Preston. Police are urging people to be safe in the area because Google Maps shows Highway 84 as a preferred route around Interstate 35 construction, causing heavier traffic in the area. Today marks 50 years since the Apollo 11 moon landing, and a half a century later, the event is still one of the most iconic moments in modern American history. And events to remember this historical day happen not just on Capitol Hill, but across the country. Chief photographer Alex Castillo visited the Johnson Space Center in Houston to take a look at what the mission meant to the nation. Now, one of the biggest questions on this anniversary, when are we going back to the moon? Apparently, there is a 5-year plan that answers that question. NASA's goal is to be back on the moon by 2024. This time, putting the first woman on the moon. Definitely excited to be a part of that history. For now, though, time for a check at the weather, and I'm thinking we can go with like sizzling today. Sizzling temperatures, maybe? I'll just look forward to Tuesday.
Hey, in the middle of the week, it's going to feel more comfortable outside. I think we're all looking forward to that.
Well, with these hot temperatures for the weekend, it's no surprise that people and animals across the country are trying to stay cool. Several bears, tigers, and even a rhino at the Brookfield Zoo in Illinois got a cool treat this week. See what I did there? It's cool because of the temperature, and it's also just cool because some of these ice chunks had meat and bones and others had berries, like you can see there.
I don't think I'll prefer that. I'll just maybe like chew on some ice myself.
We'll leave it to them. Well, thank you guys for watching this morning. Our Dennis Turner is back tonight. Y'all have a good one.